Hello, everybody. Thank you all so much for coming to this presentation. This is my final presentation on youth climate activism and how we can best use that to create lasting change in the Yampa Valley.
So the overview, this project, it had a couple parts. I organized a showing of the Protect Our Winters documentary, Purple Mountains, and we followed that up with a panel discussion on climate action and the outdoors and how they relate. And then I also wrote the Next Generation newsletter, which is a youth-focused newsletter that is meant to provide resources and information to young climate activists so they can get involved and stay involved and with climate action. And it's all part of the Rising Leaders in Sustainability Initiative and the Community Education and Engagement Program area. For this project, I was partnering with Protect Our Winters for the film showing, and they provided the rights to the film, obviously, and a whole bunch of advice with the screening, what questions to ask, how to do it, and how to organize it. They were very helpful, and obviously Yampa Valley Sustainability Council, which obviously I worked for. So the goals of this project were to expand the Rising Leaders in Sustainability Initiative by creating a more defined pathway for all these young activists in the Yampa Valley so that they can get involved, stay involved, and create lasting change. And also to expand the Next Generation newsletter to provide the resources to do that. And to connect people who are not interested in the sustainability, such as the youth community and some people in the outdoor community, and by hosting a youth-focused climate event, which was the Purple Mountains film showing. So we were able to, this film is about finding common ground in the outdoor community and putting our difference, what we have in common is ahead of what we have different and uniting on climate. And we followed that up with a panel with similar topics. We discussed sustainability, the outdoors, and the way they connect locally. And that panel included Tim Sullivan, who is YPSC's Natural Climate Solutions Director, and he was able to bring a science and ecological based perspective to the event. Sarah Jones, who is the Director of Sustainability at Steamboat Resort, and she was able to bring a perspective of how the outdoor industry and corporate companies can relate to sustainability, and myself, and I brought a perspective of youth activism. And we discussed climate action and sustainability and the outdoors. And afterwards, we had a survey in which all events said that they would at least consider going to another event like this. And many people said that they came because of being involved with the outdoor industry, which means that we were able to accomplish our goal of connecting people who did not have too much prior interest in sustainability. One attendee was asked in the survey how they've seen climate action affect them, and they said that, quote, "From the 13 years I've been alive and living in Steamboat, I have seen the amount of snowfall fluctuate. Over the past couple of years, I've seen our river be lower than ever, enough to where we have to shut it down. This was all because of our amount of snowfall and rain that past winter. No town should ever have to close their river or push back their mountain's opening date, but this is what it has come down to." And I think this quote really shows how the climate crisis is affecting all of us, no matter how young or old we are. And the Next Generation newsletter, I wrote 3 of them for the 3 months of this internship, and I was able to write about the local effects of the climate crisis, such as drought, wildfires, and decreased snowpack, opportunities for youth to get involved such as all our our Retreat and Yampa Valley Climate Crew events, and several other YBFC and other organizations events, and ways to reduce people's personal impact. And this newsletter was pretty successful statistically. It had a 50% open rate and about a 6% click rate. So after this project, I can now revisit these goals, and I can say that we were able to increase the pathway for youth to get involved in sustainability, and it's now more defined, and it's easier for these youth to find opportunities and get involved and stay involved. But because there's so many organizations across the Yampa Valley, such as the Teen Council, Eco Club, YBSC, and Fridays for Future, and many others that are all involving youth, we can still improve communication and therefore improve those results. Could you go back? The second goal was to connect the youth community with climate action and interest new people in sustainability. This was somewhat successful, as the Purple Mountains event saw people from the outdoor community who weren't fully involved in sustainability, but all survey respondents did say that they were already involved in sustainability in some way. So we do need to find new ways to involve people with no prior interest in sustainability. The key takeaways from this project is that local youth are passionate and are ready to engage in climate action, and that youth perspectives can be very effective in changing minds and bringing about change. And that just shows us that we need to take advantage of this and mobilize as many youth as we can to further our program areas. Some other projects I worked on with this were, because of my connection with SSHS, I began discussions about possibly starting a composting program there. And I also attended several events such as Retreat and several waste diversion events, volunteering at concerts and things. And I helped to set up YPSC's long-term facility for hard to recycle materials. So personally, I have really, in this internship, I've stepped out of my comfort zone, and I've developed a lot as a person and an activist. I was in the Purple Mountains film showing panel, and that really forced me to step out of my comfort zone and learn to speak confidently despite being nervous. And that was really helpful for me to learn public speaking. And I also wrote more than I've ever written, and I got it reviewed by experts and a large public audience with the newsletter, and that really helped me get criticism to improve my writing. And I also was able to make professional connections with stakeholders in the project and learn how to work with them and communicate better with them. And that included people involved in the events and guest speakers for the internship. And I'd like to thank all these people. I couldn't have done it by myself. I'd like to thank Kate Mercado, who is YBSC's Communications and Program Director and was my staff mentor. She was very helpful in teaching me with my writing and with organizing. She knows so much and is super helpful. And I'd like to thank Nicole Pepper, who is YBSC's internship and program manager. Also was a huge mentor to me, and she was really good at creating this structured program to help me accomplish my goals of developing professionally and my project goals. And I'd like to thank Sarah Jones, who is Steamboat Resorts Sustainability Director, who was a speaker on the panel and helped me to organize the Purple Mountains film showing, and was also a guest speaker for the internship. She is super helpful with the design, with organizing the project, and she really brought a really close perspective of how the outdoor industry and sustainability can relate. And Tim Sullivan, who is YBSC's Natural Climate Solutions Director, was also a part of the panel and was super helpful in organizing that event and brought a really interesting science-based perspective. I'd also like to thank Carolyn Peters, who was my liaison with Bud Warner Library, and she provided the space for the event, and she helped with the audio-visual aspect of hosting a film showing. I'd like to thank Catherine Carson, who has been super helpful even before I was involved with YBFC. She provided voter registration at a Fridays for Future event this fall and at the Purple Mountains film showing, so she's really helping me to get youth involved in climate action and helping with the political aspect of the activism. And I'd also like to thank Maddie Peavy, who is my liaison with Protect Our Winners. She provided the rights to the film and the screening kit and was super helpful with organizing that. And does anybody have any questions?